Going live. You are live. It's written on it. Oh, where are you? Here. Hello. Hello. We are back with Cody and Aline, Chaos and the Queen.
That's right.
And today we're going to investigate, explore the more understanding around the keeping the momentum alive so that we can live effortlessly, because it is possible. And that is always connected to the concept of manifestation. Manifesting is what we do every day, whether we're doing something or not. Life is manifesting itself moment after moment. We have capacity to actually consciously manifest. And the idea is the more we're consciously manifesting, the more intentional we are, the more purposeful we feel, and the more meaningful we also feel. So why not doing it, right? Instead of being a victim of life taking us to, wherever it wants. It's like, can I literally design my life, manifest it that the way that aligns with me, and what gets in the way at time of doing it?
I get in the way.
Okay.
All the time, I feel like.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I do fundamentally believe in manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
But I live what feels like Groundhog Day most days.
Yeah.
Where it's just like lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And so I oftentimes do feel really stuck.
Yeah.
So I'm sure my manifestation is broken.
She broke the machine. It's broken. That's her. Okay.
So whatever my manifestation machine is, it needs a little tune up.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the system function all the time for everybody in the same way, is that whatever we are declaring we are and we're focusing on is going to come to manifestation. Why? Because reality goes where awareness goes. Reality goes where awareness goes, right? So the challenge is when we are the greatness is when we are conscious and we truly move our focus where we want it to go, then yes, of course, we're going to see what we are putting our mind to. It's the saying, put your mind to it, and then you will see it. The challenge is that most of us are sleeping. We are not aware. We are not conscious. We're getting up in the morning doing the same thing as we did yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before, or that our parents did the day before, like, 50 years ago. Why? Because we are truly not present here and now. So the mind will go and take action upon what he is familiar with, what he has always done, because he has worked so far to keep it alive.
So, okay.
Right?
I mean, I hear that.
Okay.
Not present in the here and now is what I heard and what I'm writing down, because I'm not.
Right.
I'm generally working from a to-do list of future things to get done.
Okay. All right. So, and that's what the mind will do. It will go into the past, looking at what mistakes, judging the past, and then it's going to look in the future and worrying about what could happen, should happen, according to what we've already happened. But very rarely does he spend a lot of time here in the present moment, where the power of manifestation is sourced from, is stemmed from. There's no creative power in the past anymore because it's already finished. And there's no creative substance that can manifest in the future because the future is not here yet. So it's almost like you're creating from the past, well, with a residual of what you know, but that's not true energy that is creative. It's just an imitation of yesterday.
No, exactly.
Right.
And that's how I feel.
Okay.
I don't feel creative in that space.
So in order to transform the space, that the paradigms that is kind of like the blueprint for your day, that your mind is going and it's like, oh, here's the blueprint from yesterday. It worked pretty well. Like, we're still breathing. We had some food. It's like we're not collapsing. Oh, let's just use the same blueprint and then move from one place to the other place. Eventually, you can just change what you eat, or go to the restaurant you didn't go yesterday. But it's pretty much the same blueprint.
It's the
right?
same.
Okay. So in order to transform one's life, we're going to need to, be present in the moment for the choice. We need to choose. The free will is the tool of the human being. Everyone has free will and everyone has 24 hours. And these are the tools to manifestation.
Okay.
Time, space, and awareness. Whatever I am going to choose to be aware of is going to be what will influence my choice during this time and space.
Okay.
So my power is really to just say, what do I desire? Who am I in that desire? If this desire is supporting my greatest self, or who I say I am, it's not necessarily my greatest self, but who I say I am, then I can choose, and then what I have chosen will support what I say I am. The dog says he
desires to be outside.
That's it. And then he is letting himself down, and it makes it happen. Super manifester. Okay, we are back. So what's the challenge of that even itself, like in this, okay, I'm present in the moment. One is tuning to our desires, is discerning if our desires are fueled from ego or soul. Is my desire fueled from scarcity or abundance?
Okay.
So we are all, like, what we are looking at is we need to be present. We need to discern who we are, which means we need to know oneself. And in order to know oneself, we need to spend a lot of time with ourselves.
Which we talked about a while back.
Yeah.
And I'm still practicing.
Yeah. We have literally a life to know ourselves. We're going to know ourselves the day we die. So it's not like we need to have all the answers today. It's just the unfolding of the journey. So how do we do that? We have 24 hours at a time to make decisions that allows us to sharpen how we know ourselves. Right?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
So the idea to transform a Groundhog Day pattern is to actually disrupt that pattern by choosing differently. Okay. So the mind will tell you, oh, well, it's not that easy.
It isn't.
It isn't. And that
my mind is right.
It's like, yeah, now what are you going to do at this?
Right.
Well, okay. So the idea is the hardship that the mind can perceive. It's because it is a little bit of the black and white. It's like, if I want to change my life, I'm going to change my job, the way I live, where I live, how I live, and I need to live somewhere else. And yeah, you cannot change all of that in once.
Well, and I also know that wherever I go, there I am.
Okay, so that is actually makes you part of the evolved being, because a lot of people think that if they go on the other side of the earth, it's going to be a lot better than where they are right now. And it's not, because wherever you are, there you are. Right? So the idea is to really say, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just still have 24 hours like I had yesterday. But the way I show up in my 24 hours is what I have in control and doesn't need me to change my entire reality. And I explain what I mean by that. It means that if you choose to show up with the one version of you that says, I'm not enough, for example, you're going to experience yourself for 24 hours through choices that supports that belief. I am not enough. Because you're going to make choices in terms of even your entire vibration is going to create, to echo back some opportunities to support, to prove to you what you say you are. So if you declare, or if you feel I'm not enough because that's the truth about you, then you're going to have somebody, I don't know, like cutting in front of you in the on the highway, and then it's like, and then like tell you like, you are just like a bad driver. I know. I'm not good enough.
So you're just going to get reinforcement of that belief system.
Because that's what you are, a manifester of your truth. If your truth is I'm not enough, you're going to prove it to yourself. Look, the universe, God, energy, whatever, doesn't have discrimination with your desires, with your truth. You're holding your truth. Whatever your truth is, it will be verified. It will be embodied in your reality because you say so.
And so you get to know your truth. And this is a genuine question for me, because I tend to feel stuck in this same sort of groundhog pattern.
Right.
And I mean, at least when I talk to myself, I believe that I'm enough and I'm capable and I'm all the things.
Yeah.
But then I often have experiences that don't match that. So like I must have some sort of something underneath it all that is stronger.
Okay. So
than me faking it.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. So the awareness that you have in the moment of you're bringing an experience to you that tends to show you you're not enough. For example, although I am capable, I can do this, like that experience now is defining you differently. Why do you let it? If you are capable and if you are possible and you are good enough in some ways, why is this experience tells you otherwise and you buy into it? It's like me, if you were coming to me and telling me, my name is Cody and I am good enough, and me coming and it's like, no, your name is not Cody, and you would be like, oh, Aline said that I'm not Cody, I must not be Cody then who am I don't know, and then you go back down. The experience comes because you're expecting a certain experience to provide you a feedback of that proves me that I am capable. And some experience are showing, and because in your mind that experience doesn't mean that at that moment, instead of actually, well, then I'm not looking at it the right way.
Right.
And that is your power, to change the perspective so that the narrative about that experience is not the one of I'm not good enough. It is like, okay, how do I need to look at this to?
It's a reframing.
It's a reframing.
It becomes
consistent.
Reframing.
That's it.
I'm good at reframing.
Yes, and that's the thing. Now I am capable of reframing.
I know I am. I mean, I actually think I'm pretty good at reframing.
So therefore, this is how you can use your innate power to not to be behind you, to support you, instead of accepting something that is not you.
If it just like the exercise we did at the retreat, where you had us end the story in a certain way with the same content.
That's it. Right.
But how do I catch myself? In the moment, like in the moment of the experience of the whatever it is.
Well, you have an emotional, and we have an emotional intelligence that provides feedback on how we feel. At the moment you feel less than exciting, connected, joyful, empowered, like the way you want to feel, that's your awareness that you are buying into a truth that is not yours. Every time you feel less than, it is you have stepped out of your worth platform for a narrative that is playing in the background and has been playing probably for a while, that is so empowered beyond your conscious mind,
right?
That it's driving. Sliding.
It's driving.
That's it. Yeah, it's driving your perception, and it is not yours. It is the one that believes you're not enough, and it's like, I'm taking the perspective back. Thank you very much, and I am choosing now to say who I am now.
So I just stop whatever I'm doing and reframe it
right at that moment.
Yeah. I'm going to spend a long day tomorrow doing that.
The dog is now choosing to come back in. So, come on. Good boy. Does it make sense?
That makes a lot of sense to me. That I can't spell conscious, which is a whole nother issue, but
And the challenge too is that to reframe is one thing, because we're reframing in our mind, and we can say,
but to reframe the belief, the core belief.
To reframe the core belief is to take different action. It's not to think and reframe with thinking and thoughts and repatterning only the intellectual aspect. Is this repatterning will be activated at the moment of action. So that means that it's going to, for example,
well, I feel the most stuck in my work activities. Okay, so we can just take that as an example.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people feel stuck in work, but I do on a very regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the middle of my work, whatever that is, and I recognize it that there's something underneath it that's driving stronger than my conscious belief. And I stop it, and then I need to take a different action. I need to evaluate it, obviously, but then what does that look like if you're in the middle of a work day?
Well, so your work is technically like something is, give me an actual experience where you're feeling like stuck. What makes you feel stuck? Like you cannot send an email, you don't have the answer, you like, what is the stuckness generated from?
Well, most recently it's generated from not having the answer yet.
Okay.
Like having to think through a solution for something that is not something that I've maybe done before or solved before. So
you are challenged with having to be in the question, in the how to, and not the answer to that.
Yes, right now for sure.
Okay, so
which is also the exact same thing that I love. I love to solve problems.
Right.
I mean, I think I love to solve problems.
Well,
maybe that's the problem.
Well, so what's happening is you, and I'm going to reframe that, is that you have found power at the moment of resolution when challenged with a problem. There's a form of power for you. It's like, God dang, you know,
I can
like,
solve that.
That's it. So it's like me when technology is just like challenging me, the power I feel when I finally just conquer it and just, now, if this is the only place that I'm going to find power, I'm going to need to create a technology problem in order for me to reveal my power. So I'm going to constantly
create problems
in order for me to find my power.
Right.
So either you embracing the problem because that's your greatest path to reveal power. So you're not resisting the problem because you know that that's the path that leads you to remember your power. Or you find power in other ways than just that one.
I probably should find power in other ways. I mean, because as we were talking about this, no, I likely do create problems to go solve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is super fun for now enough time, 49 years.
Yeah.
I definitely want to have experiences that are not solving problems that feel empowering.
Okay. All right. So if, for example, finding power in fixing something has been what you are, what you've experienced, it's fine. Now, and you want to remove that, you want to transform these paradigms. Like, okay, I've done that, check the box, like I know that power. Now, the challenge could be, now I'm going to look at life as there's absolutely zero problem. There's nothing to resolve. And so you may be challenged with then nothing's happening. Then, you know, that's like, what's the power? Because it looks like there's no power since you don't have to fix.
I'm not sure I'll even know what to do.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's the reality.
Exactly.
I will be like, oh, there's no problems. Then what do I do?
You enjoy. And enjoying, the fear of enjoying can be a real detractor, because we have been taught that we cannot enjoy unless we meet certain conditions.
Or earn it.
Yeah, that's
like
the condition.
You earn a vacation.
That's it. That's the condition to enjoy. We've not been taught that just because we are breathing, we can enjoy life.
Although I enjoyed putting up my Christmas decorations yesterday. Please don't judge it was yesterday. But I did.
Okay.
Joe and I were alone, and we hadn't seen each other all week. He had been out of town, and I really wanted to put the Christmas decorations up, and we just had a good time doing it, which we've never had a good time putting up Christmas decorations.
So this is still a condition of doing. This is still a condition of doing. I'm still attending to the dog.
He's high maintenance.
He's having a moment. He's enjoying his ball.
He's enjoying his ball.
Oh my gosh, dog. Okay, so
I have so many thoughts about that.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about
this.
Okay, so the ultimate, what we did, I'm always going to invite to go at the highest level, because if we shoot for the star, eventually we're going to get there, or close to. But
if I can't get to 12D, maybe I'll get to 6.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it. So the idea is, why would you need, or what would we need, human being, the need to meet a certain condition in order for us to enjoy? Can we reopen ourselves, our mind and our heart, to enjoy ourselves, enjoy life, just because we are, not because we do?
That's rewiring me completely.
Absolutely.
I mean, it would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
that would
yeah.
need. I mean, I would need to rewire myself completely, which is fine. I'm open to that.
Right.
But that's the reality.
Yeah. It's literally, can you enjoy you without having shown something to either prove you deserve it, or that validates your joy? Like, it's literally your presence, your consciousness, your awareness of existing is enough to generate a tremendous amount of joy. Because if you can go there and know that as a fact, whatever you're going to do is going to be an expression of that, and not, I need to create that in order for me to have joy. Which means that you will be always working for joy, but not because just you are. It's just you're going to need to create experiences in order for you to have joy.
I mean, can't you just start this? I mean, this is how sometimes when I'm super cranky, I mean, or just can't get things going. I mean, I have to always go back to gratitude.
Yeah.
Like, even on like days that I can't even see gratitude, I go, well, I like that the sun came up this morning.
Yeah.
Something so simple to focus on.
Yeah. I would definitely bring it even more towards me. It's like, I am grateful to be. I'm grateful that I'm breathing right. I'm grateful for my body holding me together. I am like, make it about you.
Okay.
Because you are the energy that you're waiting for. You are the energy that you're moving, that you're generating from. So it's almost like you have to re-empower the engine from within.
Right. So less about the warm cup of coffee you like holding every morning, and more about me.
Yeah. Even if you are going,
I can't even come up with an example. That's how much work that needs to be done.
Well, like you were talking about the cup of coffee. Instead of saying, I'm grateful for that cup of coffee, I'm grateful for being capable of making my cup of coffee. I'm grateful for being having thought of enjoying that cup of coffee. Like, you're making it yours. You are the one who generated that experience. It's not the cup of coffee. If not, without a cup of coffee, you're nothing.
Well, that is the case. But we're going to reframe that today.
We will.
I mean, literally, I'm nobody until I have coffee.
Yeah.
But yes, maybe we need to work on that. We'll just start with coffee.
I am coffee. Call me coffee.
I am the energy that created the coffee. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that, but for sure.
So
I mean, I see the difference. It doesn't seem like it's that different, but it is.
Of course it is. Because energetically, it comes from a different place. You need to own, like if you say, I am grateful for my capacity to bring to me a cup of coffee. Like, I did this. I found this coffee. I worked to buy this coffee. Like, I am the creator of that experience for me. Like, I am so smart. So like, this is where you're owning it. Mm-hmm. This experience would be non-existent without you at the center of it on all levels.
I mean, I can see how I bring the coffee.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Right. And that's why, like, owning our life means we need to be in the middle of it. Like, every time we are being delivered something, we can be grateful for people delivering things, but our engagement in the experience is voided. And so we cannot really own it. Mm-hmm. Right. So when you go to somebody who is doing I don't know, like a card reading, which,
Well, you made this fire.
Yeah, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. So the fire, like you are grateful for
I'm
the
so
warmth.
grateful for the warmth.
Okay.
Because I was freezing when I got here.
So the idea now is you need to be grateful for having taken the time to choose you and us here that brought you
to the warmth.
You see, like this, you're reframing it so that you're owning it. You are at the center. I didn't make it. You hired me to bring your warmth because you actually make the desire, you make the priority
to come
of
here.
us. Exactly. Because that's excitement. You chose your excitement. Each time
I easily choose this time.
Exactly. So the thing is, how can I always choose my excitement? I mean, that is welcome to my life.
Well, you're an advanced. Well, you're in the advanced class.
I'm on the next level class.
How can I always?
Yeah, and I'm
choose my excitement.
Right, and that's going to be a good segue to go back to that Groundhog Day you were talking, because what's happening is Groundhog Day is meant, and Bo was talking about that in his talk a couple of weeks ago, is that independently on the task that you're doing, you can always show up as who you know yourself to be. If you say that you are excitement, whether you need to clean your house or take the dog out or create a new product or meet your friend, you can choose how you're showing up in front of the task. So your Groundhog Day and that's the whole story of the movie, is like when he was feeling crappy and just like being disconnected and angry at the world, well, guess what? Groundhog Day was just, I don't want his life.
But he made it the best Groundhog Day every day.
And eventually he actually surrendered to the life he was having. He didn't need to get out of it anymore. That's why he got out of it. And that is our power. Our power is the elevation at which we choose consciously to look at life and choose from. What would excitement do? What would love do? What would joy do? Instead of, oh my gosh, I didn't want this. Yes, because it's coming. If it comes, you wanted it. Nothing is by coincidence. You must own every piece of the puzzle that shows up. Now, how you meet that piece of the puzzle is your power. You can look at it and it's like, that's shitty, or, oh, what are we going to do with you? How are we going to transform you? I love it. I don't know yet. But then you can actually create from it. So you're not letting yourself be defined by, I don't like it. I didn't want it white. Oh, and now I'm stuck. Right away, you're like, okay, so I would like you red. What do I have red to change? Like, I'm excited by the red. And you're not going to stop unless this thing becomes red. But very often we got stuck into like, I was giving that, I don't like it. First it's like, well, thank you for giving me that. What can I do? Who is the part of me that can transform something if this is not giving me the greatest experience? We are expecting that the experience is going to provide us the highest one, but it's not the job of the experience. The experience is done. It's like somebody gives you a gift and you don't like it. Well, what are you going to do? Like, it's a gift. Thank you. And then what are you going to do about it? Like, I'm going to transform this. I'm going to change it. I'm going to
regift it.
I can regift it
to someone who would appreciate it more.
Exactly. So, but there's so many opportunities to do something instead of, I'm stuck with this gift forever. And every time I look at it, I can't stand it, because that's what we do. And we do that with relationship. We do that with family experiences. We do that with business, with work. Like, right. Instead of, what if it was the greatest gift, but I need to put my little
signature on it.
Exactly. Make it yours.
I think I'm going to just start doing that with everything that I do. I mean, because I really do have to wire from the ground up. Because
we're at ground zero.
We're at ground zero, people. Ground zero. But if everything I did, I asked myself, how can I make this joyful, or how can I be?
Yeah. If it brings you an awareness of wah, 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 then it's almost like it becomes a responsibility. It's like, thank you for showing up. I will not accept you unless I am transforming you so that you can be mine.
Right.
And that is like a relationship.
Right.
Like, why would you accept a relationship that actually is like, sure, you can stay with me forever? Oh my gosh, it's going to be hell.
I wouldn't sign up
Exactly.
for that.
You would choose the partner that actually is like, whoa. But it's not because of the partner. It's because of what you choose to see in the partner. It belongs to you. It's like, why, like you see relationship that lasts, I don't know, like, 7, 10 years, 15 years. And then after 15 years, people are like, oh my gosh, he's like this, she's like that, I can't stand it, whatever. I have, and I hope I have to believe that 15 years ago, you didn't say yes to that person because you saw the same thing.
No, at least, right. If you were going to use relationships, Joe and I could not be more different.
Right.
But I oftentimes look at him in complete awe, just going, wow, he actually believes that. And I don't believe that at all. So,
and you can still see love.
Oh, well, yes. And I'm genuinely curious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just like a male species gift or lack thereof, or if it's like we just fundamentally were wired different, grown up different, see things different. But I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, is like you can still love him in his differences because you choose not to look at the differences and make that like we cannot be together because we are so different. You choose to say we can be different, but because I see love in you, I can be right next to your difference.
I can expand.
Exactly.
I can expand.
That's
how I feel with him.
Of course.
Even though I don't always agree with him.
Of course. How could you? Like, we can't be always 100%, agreeing with someone who is different than us. We can only be agreeing with ourselves 100%. So it's the idea of always realizing and remembering we are at the center of our life. Life is a question of perception. And if life does not show up as what we desire it to be, then it means that our perception is skewed and we need a pair of glasses. And if that pair of glasses is not sharp enough to allow our sight to be seeing what we want to see, then we need to sharpen it even more. But what we tend to do is to ask everything else around to change, to fit our broken glasses. And we need to stop. Like, the things can't change. This thing cannot be a cup of water. It can't, even if you wanted to.
Right.
Imagine if I have an anger relationship with that thing because it cannot be what I want it to be to make me feel happy.
Well, that's going to be very unhappy.
Very unhappy. So the idea is you are who you are, and either I accept you or I transform you. That's only
two options.
That's two options. Very simple. Not easy.
It sounds simple,
but
not easy.
Not easy. Simple, but it's not easy. But it is simple when we realize that we are the power, we have the power, and we can change. And I can either accept you or transform you through my perception. That's the only two. That's how you keep the momentum of effortlessness. You're choosing what you look at, and you're acting on it. If you act from gratitude is what you're going to feel all the time. If you act from scarcity is going to be what you feel all the time. And that is our power. It's nobody's business.
It does sound really simple, like crazy simple.
Because we are smart. We are all intelligent and educated, especially if you're here listening to this conversation. Now, the challenge is not to understand that. It is to actually make it into a practice that embodied that understanding.
And that's the work.
That's the work. That's the work. The work is and that's 75% of the manifestation process.
I think you have to conquer that first. I feel like if I could conquer that, if I could catch myself in my stuckness
and that's
and reframe it, and then take a different action.
That's the practice. It's kind of like what you realize is like, you know what? For the next 30 days, I'm going to pay attention to how I choose every day. Why did I choose this coffee? Maybe was it really the coffee I wanted?
It's not for me.
What?
It's I want to hold the warm cup.
Exactly. Okay. So
And
there
I
you go.
literally sip on the coffee all day long, even when the coffee is cold, which is terrible.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But that's what I do. But it has nothing to do with coffee.
No, that's exactly that. It's like the warmth brings you more closer to you. It brings you spaciousness. It brings you like all of this version of you. And it's like what we want is how can I be like? Let's say that one day you don't have your coffee. Are you shaking? Are you like, or can you like, oh, I don't have the coffee because circumstances not don't bring it to me. So can I just like
Tea or
imagine,
lemon water?
or,
Yes.
yeah, or just like I'm gonna open up and feel warm as if I had the coffee because your experience is within. It's not the cup of coffee that brings you that. It reveals it, but it doesn't bring it. You're opening to you.
Okay, I can at least attempt to do this.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's,
I mean, that's the work.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
the
not.
work.
I mean, I've got to unravel 49 years of. But that's what's really important to me.
Yeah.
Today.
And that starts with that. It's like the essentiality of like the desire needs to drive the choice. It's
because
like,
that's what for me, that's what felt so delicious in the retreat is that there was no outside distraction. We were all there and we were all engaged and all committed to being there for ourselves first.
Yeah.
And then when you leave that experience and you get back into your normal life, you're like, and now what?
Yeah. And the key is to realize that the engagement you said yes to the retreat is the same engagement you need to say yes to your life, like your you in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you show up as engaged on that you were in the retreat and you kept this engagement, not because others provide you the condition for it, but because you have experienced the condition and you can offer them to you. It's like, well, what do I need to do? I need to actually say, this is what I'm going to.
Well, I chose me the entire weekend.
Exactly.
And there were 10,000 distractions that could
Exactly.
have had me choosing something else.
Exactly. And that's the awareness. It's like the distractions are not going to stop coming. It's like you're going to make the choice instead of me making the choice for you to be there.
I have to learn to make the choice to push the distractions away and focus on what brings joy.
That's it. Discerning, like, what is more important, the distraction or staying engaged? Sometimes it's going to be the distraction because we all need some, but it's more about being intentional, about the work on the day-to-day experience where the ordinary is, because we cannot change our life on extraordinary circumstances. The extraordinary will eventually open up to something new, but they won't change our ordinary because our life is based on the sum of what we do day in, day out the most. The extraordinary part, which are like the retreats, weekend or week long, they're going to provide a more immersive experience to see what's possible.
They sort of jumpstart you.
That's it. And it is, I am a big believer that, because I have experienced it this way, is that the regularity of saying yes to an immersive experience is, especially with others, is really profoundly anchoring new possibility of patterning ourselves and choosing and rewired our mind, because we have consistent thing. It's not just happening for 2 hours or 1 hour call. It's like, okay, I've been soothing it for a week. I have more of an imprint
for sure
in me. But then is to realize that imprint is within me. And if I am now in my ordinary, that imprint is still available. It's not back in France, back in Italy, back somewhere else, or even, it's like the imprint is where I am. And I need to activate
part of me.
That's it. I have to activate that one, because right now it may not be the biggest me, like the one that takes the most room. But if I activate it regularly, just like if I go to the gym, eventually this is who I'm going to
becomes
become.
a habit.
Exactly.
Becomes a habit.
Yeah. So that's the discipline that Bo was talking about, the discipline and knowing who you are and choosing that despite everything around you that tells you should be choosing something else.
Okay, well, I'm going to practice that. And poor Percy doesn't know what to do with himself.
No, it's good because, this is the thing. It's like if we cater to the fear or the annoyance, the distraction, that's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
It would be easy to do it, but we've done it one time, two times. And so we've taught him distraction has more power than what is here. And that's not true. So it's there, and we have to tune out the distraction. So because we want to control it, and just like it's going to go away eventually, even if it takes a day, 2 days. We're not going to live in 3 days outside without attending. But it's the idea.
It's only 51 degrees outside.
Yeah, he's going to survive. He has
He's going to be fine.
He's
well, I'm excited to try that this week for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Those are some nuggets for sure.
Mm-hmm. So if you in your life have some challenges that you're experiencing towards change, transformation, resistance, not knowing where to start, or things that are more maybe personal that don't necessarily relate to the experiences that either Cody or I have had, then please just reach out to us and just let's engage in a conversation. And then you may give us some nuggets to start another conversation next week or the week after. So rock and roll, we'll be here. More to chaos and the queen soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.